I want to tell you a story. When my kids were little, when I had first just like one little toddler, and then I had a baby and a toddler, and then I had 3 kids under 5, and I had 4 kids under 7. When my kids were really little, I had this idea that at some point, on their own, just naturally, they were going to learn independent play. Right? They were just going to suddenly start playing on their own, independently, all happy for long stretches. And I think I probably thought that was going to start by the time they were like, say, 6 weeks old and last until they were like adults, right? Which was not an accurate expectation. Turns out, I don't know if maybe your kids do that, but that feature did not come standard on the model of kids that I got. Like, none of my kids did that on their own. And when that did not happen, I would get to a place every day where I started thinking, okay, you know what it is time for now? It is time to binge eat all the chocolate in the house and watch HGTV for the next 6 hours straight. That's what it's time for. That's what it's time for. And on a good day, that wouldn't happen till like maybe, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then other days it'd be like 7 a.m. And I would be thinking, where is the television remote right now? Like, how do I escape from this life that I'm living in in this moment? How do I escape from this moment? Because I had this expectation, right? I had this expectation that this is how things were going to go, and it wasn't going that way. And the thing is, that expectation that my kids weren't meeting, which was not their fault because they just weren't programmed to be meeting that expectation, that expectation grew out of an actual real need, right? I had an actual need for quiet alone time. I needed time with my own headspace, right? I needed time to process my feelings. I needed time to process and organize my thoughts every day. I needed a lot of time alone in my head, and I wasn't getting that. I had an expectation about how I was gonna get that, and it wasn't happening. And so when that happened, it felt awful, and I wanted to escape from that feeling and that just situation that felt stuck to me. And I think in the last couple of days, I think a lot of us are seeing that same thing come up where we have expectations that are not quite being met, and it feels ick, and we're like, how do we get out of this right now? So I think for a lot of us right now, maybe we had a need to feel like we were in control of our lives. And maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we really felt like we were in control of our lives. And we felt like we were in control of our days. And we got to choose where we went and when we went there and what we did. And maybe it feels right now like we don't have that anymore. So you guys, that's a real need. Like, we sometimes need to feel like we are in charge of ourselves. We need to feel like we have agency. And we don't in the same way we did a minute ago, right? But for me, when I realize that's what I need, I don't have that right now, and that feels ick on the inside, what I can do is think about, what am I in charge of still? Because I'm still in charge of a whole lot of things, right? I am in charge of what media I consume. I am in charge of how often I'm checking the news. I am in charge of what activities I'm going to do within the parameters of what is working right now, right? What's okay to do right now? What am I going to do within that? I'm still in charge of a lot of things, just not what I was before, but that need can still get met. Or maybe I had an expectation about what we were going to be doing this week and right now, and that expectation is not being met. Maybe I expected I was going to be going out to work somewhere. Maybe I expected my kids were going to go to school. Maybe I expected my partner was going to be doing whatever my partner does during the day, right? And now none of those things are actually happening. That can feel really awful if that expectation, that routine, that thing we were doing, maybe that was meeting some needs for us, right? Some actual legitimate needs. So maybe going to work or going to a coffee shop to do your work, maybe that was meeting your need for interaction, and that's not happening now. Or maybe going to school was meeting your kids' need for interaction, and that's not happening now. Or maybe your work was meeting a need you had for feeling like you were productive or like your work mattered. And you still need that, but you can't meet it in the same way this week. Okay, or right now, for a while. But we can still meet those same needs, right? Maybe our need for interaction needs to get met over Zoom or over text or over FaceTime. Maybe our kids' need for interaction needs to get met in those ways right now. And that's okay, we can meet those needs in a different way. Or maybe like me, you really truly do need some quiet alone time every day. Like maybe you need that. Okay, but you're in the space where maybe your partner's there and your kids are there and your dogs are there or whatever it is, right? You're not getting that alone time that you need, that headspace to think your thoughts and to feel your feelings and to process all this stuff that's going on right now, because a lot's going on right now. So how do we get that alone time right now if that's the thing that we need? Okay, so maybe you make it a game, right? So, okay, guys, mama needs quiet for the next hour. Like, I really, truly need that. And at the end of the hour, if we can all do our own independent stuff for that 1 hour, we'll set a timer, that one hour, and I really mean 1 hour. At the end of it, we will all have an ice cream, because ice cream's taking up too much space in the freezer anyway, and we need to get rid of it. Okay, maybe there's something like that you can do. Maybe if you have really small kids and they are not going to understand that whole hour situation, because I've been there, maybe in that case, you just look for the times that are naturally occurring, right? Maybe they take a nap. Maybe you get up before they do, or you're awake later than them in the evening. And you make a point of telling yourself, this is my time, right? This is when I'm going to be alone with my thoughts. Right now, I get to think my thoughts and feel my feelings, even if it's while I'm doing the dishes or while I'm throwing in some laundry or whatever it is. Right now, this is my time. And you just give yourself that space and let yourself know it's happening right now, rather than just doing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing without ever noticing, oh, I did have a couple of little minutes in there of quiet alone time. Just like calling it out helps a lot. And we can talk more about there's a million strategies for how we're going to get interaction or how we're going to get alone time, if those are the things we need, and we can keep talking about what those are. I would love if you guys would tell me in the comments, what are the expectations and the needs that you are really struggling with right now, that were being met routinely somehow last week and now they're not, and we need to address that so that we don't have to feel like it's time to escape from our lives. There's no more chocolate. So we can do that thing, and maybe we can brainstorm with each other, how can we meet that need that we have for whatever it is, to feel productive, to feel like our work matters, to feel like we're in control, to feel like we have some agency, to feel like we have alone time, or we have together time, or whatever it is that's the thing for you. I'd love to hear what it is so we can help you to figure out how to meet that thing. Because when we do meet those needs for ourselves, we learn to trust ourselves. I trust myself now so much more to meet my own needs. I know I'm not gonna escape when I start to feel icky because my needs are not being met. I know that I can figure out what the heck is it that I need right now, and how am I gonna get that need met. I know that's not somebody else's responsibility. I don't need to be mad at the people around me because they're not meeting my needs or they're not meeting my expectations. That's not their job. It's my job to figure out what I expect, to align my expectations with reality. That's the hard part. And then to figure out how to meet the needs that I actually have that are totally legitimate needs. It's okay to need stuff. And I can trust myself to do that. That feels so much better, even when my needs are not being met, because then I know I've done this before. I know I can come back and do this again. I know I can figure out what I need, and I can get it for myself, and you can too. And so let's talk about that in the comments. What is it we need, and how can we start meeting those needs for ourselves within the parameters that we are living with right now? Okay, we'll talk soon. Mwah.